Mini. and the legend. Zachariah Stinson and Eric Von Daniken looking for the answers to the meaning and the message. And Anunnaki and Lantis, the Greys and Lemurians. Religion calls them angels, but science will call them aliens. The alien, dialectic, the days of the week. The names of ancient gods who cast spells when you speak. And what's left is but the meat, you set destruction and defeat. You can't uncover history's mysteries. I was winded on that. I couldn't catch my breath after a certain part, man.
Yo, good morning. What's good, my G? Separate scrolling through some fucking Instagram memes and shit. How you making out this morning? Yo, Darkson. What's up, man? BR? Question mark? Not even sure what the abbreviation for that is. Be right back? Question mark? Are you asking me, can you be right back? I don't know. His stream was live. I was watching the stream a minute ago. Yeah, he done left his chair. He not even. You know what I'm saying? We put my holidays on and get some rest this morning. I'm not working today. I know it's Monday. Ain't nobody going to work today though, man. Holiday time. Yes, sir. Ain't nobody playing that shit today, bro. We got extra studio time today. Extra game time today. That's all we doing today, bro. Yeah, as soon as I turned on YouTube, I noticed his channel was live, but he ain't in there. So I just keep listening to these beats again, trying to get these little verses memorized. I need to start writing some more shit, cause that last beat he sent me, that shit crazy hard, bro. But I don't know, I done listened to that shit like 6 or 7 times, and I still can't really find a flow in that motherfucker. It's just like one of my beats. I be making my beats and I can't even rap to none of them bitches. But now he sent me a beat. That shit sounds so good, but it still don't feel like I can flow on that bitch somehow. I literally been gaming all night. What you been playing, man? What game you on? I woke up like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was weird. I took a nap yesterday, right in the middle of the day, man. I woke back up like 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. I was like, damn. And so I was up for a little while, and I tried to go to bed like 10 o'clock, and then wound up being back up at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I came downstairs, and I was about to get on the game, but I decided to be productive and do some digital art. I ain't even gonna lie, man. This Starfield release, I've been watching everybody play the new Starfield on the Xbox platforms. Man, I really might go get me an Xbox, bro, just so I can go play that shit. But I know if I get a new game right now, I ain't gonna get no more art done for the rest of the year. I already know I won't get no art done for the rest of the year, yeah. If I go ahead and buy a new console and that game, Battlefield, Poker, Survivor, Callisto Protocol. Yo, that Callisto Protocol was motherfucking on sale too, yo. I was gonna grip that shit up because they had that shit for like $30 something. I was like, what? $30. But I held back. That Jedi Survivor, that's the newest one. I know they gave us the new one that came out. They gave us the last one for free. I ain't even played that yet. I got it downloaded and saved in my library, but I ain't even played that shit yet. But they say that's a really good single player story driven game. They gave us that Tiger Woods PGA 2023. They gave us that shit free this month. I've been playing golf. Yo, I suck like a motherfucker. I don't even like really try to do nothing. I just hit the ball, wherever that shit be landing. All the fucking tilt and different stances and different clubs and different spin, and I don't do none of that shit. I just keep on every swing. I swing the same way with the same club. I be motherfucking 10 over par with that bitch. Or maybe like 21st place or some shit. But I don't know. It's weird, but it's a fun little game. Golf. I never thought I'd like playing a fucking golf simulator. My ass be in the bunker like every other shot. I done hit the ball in the goddamn water. I be hitting the ball way off the fairway, hitting the goddamn the motherfucking viewers in the head and shit. I'm still trying to play that shit though. Now that poker shit, bro, and that's what I say. Like I kind of feel like PlayStation Plus is worth it because you get 3 free games every month. So what we were paying, like I think it was $110 for every level. I think there's 3 tiers of that shit, whatever, and then they combine some. I don't know what it, but for $110 a year, you really don't have to buy games. You don't. They'll put games in the catalog, and I think that's second tier. Like you get access to their gaming catalog, and then third tier is where you get the fucking 3 free games every month, or however it works. But yeah, with just them adding games to the catalog, having access to the classic catalog, you got the Ubisoft uh, game slots on there, and then you get 3 free games every month. And most months, like man, I would go like 2-3 months with the free games and don't even really like the game style is not my shit, so I don't even play them. But then there'll be a couple of months where shit I'll be playing at least 1 or 2 games off the list. I said I would have never bought a fucking Tiger Woods game, but you give me that shit with my package, I'll play that shit. There was some other game too. I played Thief. They gave us that for free. They gave us the Dragon Ball shit for free. They gave us in the last couple months. What else we got? We got some racing game. So, and then like you say, my library is stacked full of shit. Like honestly, if I was just forced to just play the games I got, I got, like you say, there's so many fucking games in there. Yeah, the third tier, bro. That's what I say. But now they gonna make that shit more expensive. Is it still gonna be worth it? I mean, I guess, cause even for like $150 or $160 a year, you still get a way more game. Cause now, games still cost fucking $60, $70. So for just say you spent $160 on video games, that's really like 3 games. Honestly, $160 is like buying 3 games. But if you do that, if you just get them that 160, then you get fucking 3 games a month. Once again, some of them might not be your style, but you'll still get way more games for the price and access to online gaming and like I say, access to the store, and the store discounts be another thing. And then with third tier, you get gift bundles just for people who have the third tier. Like there's a couple of games I got free skins and some other shit just because I was the premium plus member or whatever. So it definitely has a lot of benefits to it. I might need to charge this thing. I don't think I put it back on the charger before I went to sleep. Nope. Game Pass does all of that, bro. And some people say it's even better because you don't need the console. You don't even need to have the Xbox. If you got a PC, you can still run Game Pass on that shit. If you got the Steam Deck, you can still run your Game Pass on that shit. So it's basically the same thing, but you can access it at different hard points. That's what I'm thinking, bro. I'm thinking, man. Because once again, even if I don't get Starfield, because I already started watching a lot of people play it and the reviews, but at the same time, yo, I'm definitely gonna play Elder Scrolls, and I think they're gonna maybe release Elder Scrolls 24 or 25. Hope they release that shit next year. And that's the creative process, bro. You gotta get it out, man. Do it. Been trying to create some new characters. I like that one the best. to say, alright, so I'm about to start prepping some canvas with some of this shit. I think I got some pretty good images. But I'm trying to really make giants, like make giant humans. But it's hard because when you say giant to this motherfucker, it think about a monster. And it always makes it look like beastly and grotesque. But I'm trying to just to get tall, human-looking people that are fucking giants. Now, what I haven't done yet is compared mines to other people's and see where it's stacking up at and see what kind of prompts are working best. I think it's I did that I worked on that pillow yesterday. Yep. You still gotta put a tone on it. Are you using oil paints? If you're gonna paint the entire canvas black to start with, and you're gonna use oils, I would use black acrylic paint to start with. Because toning the canvas really is like another primer, and it just helps fill in some of the little pores on the canvas. And also, if it's just a white canvas and you're going straight black, like it'll be hard to cover that white in just one layer of paint anyway. So instead of like, if you're gonna use oils, instead of wasting so much oil paint, I would just tone it in a nice, good layer of black acrylic paint. Let that thing dry real quick, and then when you go to put that black oil on top, it'll be so nice and thick and filled in. It should only take one layer. So, let me. Where's settings? Um, Display. I'm gonna put the brightness down a little bit so you can see this real quick. All right. So now this is one of the images that I generated, and it came out pretty good where he does look like a fucking giant compared to everybody else. But all the people heads are turned the other way, and I'm like, yo, I want the people to be looking up at him. You can kind of see this one figure here is kind of looking up at him, but everybody else is facing that way. So what I was thinking about is just trying to edit the whole background, take this weird ass thing out the sky, turn this into like a crumbling pyramid of some sorts, and then try to have the people facing him and looking up. So this is one that I did generate myself, but when I look at it in my Explorer page, and if you scroll down, you can see my prompt that I use. Cinematic still, first contact, an extremely tall African man with dreadlocks wearing blue and gold futuristic space armor is talking to the tribal leaders while people gather around in a semicircle. There is a spaceship hovering in the sky. Egyptian landscape, full body, long shot, bright natural lighting. So that was my prompt, and that's the image that I got. And so now it says explore related. So it'll show you images of things that they think are similar. And okay, that's why every time I try to go in there and get it to describe my picture, it's giving me, oh, Black Panther this, Black Panther that. I'm like, my nigga, I didn't say nothing about Black Panther. I don't want. So why is it relating all of my shit to fucking Black Panther for some reason? I don't know. So these are other similar images that people have gotten from kind of using the same prompts, I guess. So this right here looks kind of similar to what I was doing. So let me read what their prompt says. 3 African American fully bearded general in thunderous warlike purple and gold armor giving orders to his powerful fully afro bearded army wearing purple and gold armor. Cityscape background action scene directed by Zack Snyder. Cinematic texture, full body, cinematic lighting and textures, ultra cinematic ambient and atmospheric shot, 16:9 aspect ratio. That's not terrible. But once again, even here, they link some of these prompts back to fucking Black Panther. Why if it's a war general or Afro warrior or soldier or something like that, it's Black Panther shit. See, okay, so that's why, what happened? Alright, so that's what it is. So now, I gotta figure out a way to change my prompts. So if you say something about a black man in armor, or if you say African man in armor, if you say African or black man in armor, but the one said African American. What if I use a prompt and say something like a Jamaican? Would a Jamaican man in armor still refer back to fucking Black Panther? Mm-hmm. All right, so honestly, I know, I think there is. All right, bro. You thought the sled coming up. There is something. There's probably something I could do here. That I think I may be able to do. Peace, bro. Hmm. Oh, where did I put my? Almost had myself locked in.
Evidence. Let's go ahead and run it. Free ancient alphabet, bar none, has always from day one had a mysterious number associated with the letters. The study of that code is called gematria. The atomic mass of the elements are the numbers that equate to the mysterious letters in the ancient alphabets. What that means is when you look at human DNA, the numbers that equate to those become 1, 5, 6, and 3 literally reads, literal, God eternal within the body. It is in Hebrew and Aramaic and Sanskrit, three of the root languages. If there's an intentionality underlying life itself, it would make tremendous sense to me that who or whatever is responsible would somehow have left a sign. Why place that signature into something that can crumble over a few thousand years like a temple wall? Why not put it up? Watch this video with me. This is some
That's the only
serious
thing I could
airtight
never get
evidence.
with.
Let's go ahead and
No,
run it.
it's not.
Free ancient alphabet, bar none, has always from day one had a mysterious number associated with the letters. The study of that code is called gematria, the atomic mass of the. Watch this.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, these are some interesting prompts here to get crowds of people. Never thought about that. Using Jesus as the way. Hmm. Okay, so what if I dang. So what if I did something like this? Oh, thank you.
You don't want it?
Hmm?
You shouldn't need syrup. It's already really sweet. But I brought it just in case. But taste it. You put it on there. I'm about to go to Rite Aid. I canceled the Target one because a lot of the stuff was out of stock.
Okay. Yo, Leeds. What up, bro? Hmm. I'm just over here trying to make some AI art, bro. Hmm. Uh, I I kind of like two of these.
Oh. What the hell? No, 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 no. What the fuck are you doing with that? Oh my god.
Hmm.
Yo, what's up, guys? So, I've been here, oh wow, 2 hours already. I've been here for the last 2 hours trying to create some digital art. Trying to get these prompts of giants. So, I've actually created something that don't look too bad. Giant humans with dreads. Giant black dudes with dreads. It took a while, but we finally got some. So, I'll be able to tweak these a little bit. I may even, I wonder if I put this one on. can I upscale it and make it 16 by 9? Like these? I want it wide like that. But yeah, now you got you got like giants that don't look like monsters. They're just like giant humanoid black people. This one right here looks really good. But that could be forced perspective too if he's closer to the camera. But I like it when it looks like they're in a group like that and they're really big. Get rid of those. Let me see if I can do this one more time. I don't know if I can change the aspect ratio when I change the end painting, but we'll see. And this is probably the last one I do, and then I'll start doing some real painting. Nope, aspect ratio didn't change. So I'm guessing what I would have to do is is variant. But once again, like the giant humans are still coming out pretty decent though. I just want to frame it differently. So how could I expand this thing? Damn. So I'm guessing it's the only way here. If I do 16:9 here. Alright, that's the last one for real. Let me get some painting done. Alright, so we've done some pretty good generations this morning.
The head of the Taliban. I said, don't do it, Abdul. Don't do it, Abdul. Same man who's still running it. But when you think of that horrible, horrible event, leaving untold numbers of Americans behind, 13 dead warriors, 35 horrifically wounded, nobody talks about them, but horrifically wounded warriors, and $85 billion worth of the finest military equipment on the planet, bought by me. You know, we rebuilt the military. I rebuilt the entire U.S. military. We were so concerned about what was happening in Mali. We're so concerned about what's happening in. Most embarrassing day in the history of our country, in my opinion. I think it was, and I think it probably was what led Putin to say, this is the time that country has had it. Because I guarantee you one thing, Putin was not going in with me, and neither was she going into China, into Taiwan. But Putin was not going into Ukraine. And we talked about it too. I got along with them great. They hate to hear it. You got along with them. Yeah, it's always nice to get along. And you know, nobody was rough. Look, I ended the pipeline. Nobody ever heard of Nord Stream 2, right, Brian? Nobody heard of Nord Stream 2. I said, Nord Stream 2, nobody heard. That's a pipeline going to Germany, taking care of all of Europe. I ended it. So what's going on there? Under my leadership, we were leaving Afghanistan with dignity and strength, and we would not, under any circumstances, would not hold this horrific and humiliation. That was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. And we had it so solid. They weren't shooting at us. They knew better because they knew they were going to get absolutely decimated. president in many, many decades, like 8 decades, many, many years that wars, we got out of wars and we won wars. We beat ISIS, we won wars. But we got out of wars and everybody respected us. You know, we were 3 years ago, we were very respected. Very respected. They didn't play games. Nobody played games, including trade, where we get screwed by everybody. We made great trade deals, even with China. They buy $50 billion a year because of what I did for our farmers and everybody else. And we were respected, and they didn't play games. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars through tariffs on China. No other president took in 10 cents. Hundreds of billions of dollars. They were not too fond of me, but I got along with President Xi also. I just looked today. I just said, look it up. I was in the plane coming up. I said, look it up. What do we give Afghanistan? Does anybody have that nerve? I think I gave it to Corey. We give Afghanistan now billions of dollars. I said, I didn't know that. Dollars in aid. A number that is so astronomical, and this goes on a yearly basis, and they need it for humanitarian and all of that. That's good. Give us back our equipment. They want to give us back some of our equipment. You know, we're giving them 2.7 billion and 3 billion and 2 billion. I thought it would say maybe nothing, or maybe $100 million, or maybe something little. But the numbers are astronomical, what we give to Afghanistan. So that should be a condition of the continued aid. I mean, I don't want to hurt people, but they took $85 billion worth. They didn't take, we left because we were fools. We were stupid. We were stupid. I remember a certain general saying, sir, it's cheaper to leave the equipment behind, sir. Because we were going to get out. But I would have kept Bagram, because Bagram is one of the biggest air bases in the world. Bagram cost us billions of dollars to build many years ago. And Bagram is 1 hour away from where China makes their nuclear, forget Afghanistan, where China makes their nuclear weapons. It's in Afghanistan. Bagram, late at night, they left the lights on. They left the billions of dollars, 1 hour away from Fuerte. And now China will soon be occupying that incredible base that we built many, many years ago. It's so sad. I mean, these people are just horrible. They're horrible. You know, I told somebody on the way up today, I told Brian, I told a few of the guys, great in 2016. We actually did much better, as you know. We got millions more votes in 2020. The election was great. But there is more enthusiasm today than we ever had in 2016 and 2020. And the reason is because these people are so corrupt and they're so horrible. They're so incompetent. The reason is because they're watching. When you look at that border and you see millions of people pouring through our border, totally unchecked, no baby, no propane. Got good pussy, good, can I be plain? Keep it 100, girl, I ain't no saint. When you look at the fact that oil was at an all-time high, and they say, this was a problem. When oil is at an all-time high, you stop drilling. You have another question. We would have supplied all of Europe, everything. We would have supplied all of gas to Europe. We would have made a fortune. We would have paid off a big debt that we had, $35 billion. We would have been paying it off. We would have made a fortune. These guys say, and now we're getting our oil from Venezuela. How about that one? And it's not even, well, I should say we're getting our tar, because they have very bad, they have very heavy, it's like tar, they have to refine it. And for the environmentalists in the group, you know where we refine it? In Houston. It has to be brought, there's only one plant that can refine it, it's like tar, and it's Houston. So all of that spews up into the air of Texas. We get it from there, we have the best stuff here, I call it liquid gold under our feet, we don't use it. This is a crazy administration. This is like April Fool's Day. They want open borders. They want no voter ID. They want no paper ballots. They want high interest rates. They want your taxes are going to go 4 times, they say, 4 times. They haven't been able to break, I got you the greatest tax cut in the history of this country. And they have tried, but they haven't been able to break it yet. But at some point, it expires. It's iconic. So get ready for that one. These people want you to pay much higher taxes. It's crazy. And we could do it so much easier. Everyone can see the stunning contrast between our incredible success and Joe Biden's horrendous failures. And that's one reason why we're leading so big.
more enthusiasm now in 2016 and 20 because you see how incompetent these people are. It's horrible. In the recent Rasmussen poll, we're up 44 points with Trump at 57, Ron DeSanctimonious at 13, and the rest of them down in single digits. Really low.
Coming live from the
And in the morning consult that
we
just
have
came out, I
fools
wanted
on
to see,
like
because,
it's
every time you get indicted, I like to
1998.
check the poll.
Oh my God!
One
Not
more
the
indictment,
fucking
and I think this
fools.
election's
You
over.
are wearing FUBU. Oh my God!
One more.
You're wearing FUBU. You're wearing FUBU.
No, it's horrible.
No.
You get indicted for
Why
nothing.
you
Can you
have
imagine a guy?
FUBU?
Let's indict my opponent. This is a sick. This becomes the third world country. The latest morning consult poll has us far ahead. We're 59%, and the others are at like 12. One is at 12. I think that's the sanctimonious, but he's rapidly being caught by money. That's good. No, Christie's he's eating right now. He can't be wrong. Sir, please do not call him a fat pig. That's very disrespectful. Don't call him. See, I'm trying to be nice. Don't call him a fat pig. You can't do it. You can't do that. So now, because you're not allowed to do that, and therefore we're not going to do it, okay? We want to be very civil, right? So, the latest coefficient poll, which is a big deal, is almost at 60 to 13, with our lead over DeSantis growing by 9 points just since a few weeks ago. And even the recent New York Times poll has us up by 37 points, and that was older, now, and Ron DeSanctimonious. And the reason I don't like him is that I got him elected. When you get somebody, I don't want to go through the whole story, because most of you know, but he came to me, he needed help, he was getting demolished in the primary. Stupidly, I said, all right, I'll do it. Because I didn't know the guy who was running against. His name was Adam Putnam. I said, I'll do it, because, he was one of the 200 people that were on television. He was no better than anybody else. He was no Jim Jordan, that I can tell you. And he was on television and fighting a little bit on impeachment hoax number 1 and impeachment hoax number 2. So I said, you know what? I actually told him, if I were Abraham Lincoln and we brought him back from the dead, and if we brought George Washington back from the dead, and they gave
Yo,
the
Piggy,
greatest
my
endorsement
bad. I'm sitting here,
like you did to
doing
Obama.
nothing right now. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie.
He did and Christie did. Who hugged and kissed Obama harder? DeSantis or Chris Christie? I think Chris Christie. Remember that? He grabbed him. Obama said, "Get this guy off of me." And that was the end of Romney when that happened. That could have been a good thing, but we are in New Hampshire, right? That's all right. No, but he asked me. So I said, you know what, Ron, let's do it. Go ahead, let's do it. So I gave him a very strong endorsement, and the next day he went like a rocket right through the thing, and he blew people that worked for Adam Putnam couldn't believe it. They never called me, but I didn't know Adam Putnam. He was the Secretary of Agriculture. He should have called me. I would have endorsed him. Sometimes it's the first one they call. Sometimes you don't do it at all. He did. And then I had to get him through Gillum. Remember Gillum? He turned out to be a pothead, crackhead. But everybody thought he was the hottest one in politics, and Ron said, I won't be able to beat him. I said, well, he's the hottest man in politics. I said, you can beat him. Then he comes, he calls me, could you do a rally? And he actually said, could you do 3? I think I did 3 rallies. We had massive crowds. Those rallies. We're doing a lot of them. Again, they're hotter now than anything because of what's happening, because of how bad it is. But I did and he ends up winning the election. Then 4 years later, would you run against the president? These maniacs are screaming, would you run against the president? Would you run? Will you run? And he goes, I have no comment. I said, what? What did he say that? I heard this. I'm watching a newscast. I'm watching a fake newscast, and they say, you run against the president. He shouts out, I have no comment. Now, to me, that means he's running. So I said, that son of a bitch is running. Can you believe it? I just got him elected. So that's why I've been particularly hard on him. Unfortunately, it's worked because he's great. He doesn't know what happened. He goes home and says, what happened? Why did I do wrong?
girlfriend for tonight, please.
At that same poll, and other
Okay.
polls were leading Biden by
Go to the
7, 8,
bar.
9, 11 points. But you know what?
That wasn't me.
We're leading by 2 or 3 or 4 points. You know,
If you just hurry up,
actually a lot for a Republican.
you just walk on your own. It'd be so much easier. Are you okay to walk on your own? I'll let you down now. Why are you fighting? Money. No!
And like we did in 2020.
This is my girlfriend.
There what? In the same poll, we're leading in the primary by 47. So we will not play Tuesday defense. You ever seen the NFL?
Are you okay? Are you
They
okay?
don't allow a point on the
They
other
did
team,
not.
not a point. The defense is brutal. They can't get. Now they just have to hold the other team one more series. They have to hold. Just please hold them. Let's go. Prevent defense. Ping, ping. Get in the game. Touchdown, touchdown. We will not play. Is that okay? We single digits. Here's one you'll like. In the New Hampshire News, brand new coefficient poll, expected highly. New Hampshire Journal has us leading by 43 points. We're leading by. And DeSantis, Ron DeSantis, he's at 9 points. He's at 9. He's time to go back to Florida, Ron, and work on your insurance that's costing everybody a fortune. And now we're dominating Biden in the general election. Harvard Harris has us up by 5 points, and we're up 18 points among independents. Remember, they like to go around. Well, will Trump get the independents? Will Trump get the women? You know what the women want? The women want safety. They want to have a border. They want to have low taxes, low interest rates. They don't want in their beautiful suburbs, they talk about, the suburbs women. I think the suburban women like me. You know what I did? We have a lot of suburbs. No. They don't want to have a low-income housing job built right next to their house. That's what the Democrats want. So I give them strong borders. I give them good safety. I give them a powerful military. Education, so important. By the way, speaking of education, because this is largely about veterans, we are going to bring education back to the states so that each state will run 100%. We'll keep approximately 3 people in Washington just to make sure that you're teaching English, okay, as opposed to another language. Okay, you need a little coordination, like everybody has to teach English if you don't mind. But we'll keep a little bit of, like 2 or 3 people. But we have building after building after building, and here's the problem. What poll you look at of education in the world, we're at the bottom of the polls, and we spend more money than anybody else. We spend double and triple countries like Norway, Denmark, believe it or not, China, very high ranking, Japan, Norway and Denmark. They said, New York City, they said, we're going to follow the Norwegian system. I said, that didn't work out. You know how long that lasted? About 15 minutes, That didn't work out too well for New York. I think New York is sad. Did you see what's happening in New York with the, okay? How about, when I left New York was a proud city. And now it's so sad to see what's happened to that city. And in the big new premise poll, we're beating Biden by a lot, while DeSantis is losing to Biden. So that's enough of that stuff. But, the polls are phenomenal. People want us back. They're what we have. We built the economy twice. We built the greatest economy in the world, and then we did it a second time after COVID. But these incredible numbers are the primary reason that crooked Joe Biden has weaponized law enforcement. He has weaponized. He's done something that nobody thought. They talked about it, but nobody ever did it, never to this extent, and ordered his top political opponent, me, arrested. They actually arrested right in the middle of a presidential election that Biden is losing badly. He says, I'm down in the polls to Trump. Let's arrest him. Let's indict him and arrest him. Please indict him and arrest him. He's killing me in the polls. What they didn't know is that I was going to go up. Because the good thing is we have a voice. Somebody gets indicted, you go down usually. I would say Corey almost
Hmm.
Shut up, buddy. Thank you. Now it is. Think of it. They say Georgia. Now, you know, they miscalculated a little bit. You know the other good line? No, no, actually, we want to run against Trump. No, no. If they didn't want to run, you have to, they say, oh, we would much prefer running against Trump. That's because they had such an easy time when Hillary ran against me. And last time we did much better than that. You know, somebody said we sold hundreds of millions of hats. Somebody said the other day, many polls, you know, in counties we had like almost 3,000, they have 200, so many different metrics. But hats, it's the White House, all the hats. We sold even the farmer hats, which are great, right? Make farmers great again. Did I make farmers great again? I got them 28. I got them 28 billion from China. That's why I said no way I lose Iowa. Why is that? Why are you so confident? Because I got the farmers 28 billion dollars. Nobody else did. But think of this. Somebody said it the other day. I never thought of it. Hats all over South Carolina. We had almost 80,000 people. You saw that. You saw it. We were in this gorgeous area, this gorgeous town. I don't want to say the name of the town because if I do, they'll try and change the name back to something else. But it was a beautiful, beautiful place. And the sheriff was great. Everybody. We had 80,000 people, and it was a sea of red. Red hats mostly, but white also, green, everything. But I'll tell you, you were there, right? 80,000 people, and you took a look at that, and I said, has anybody ever seen a Biden hat? So think of it. We have hundreds of millions over the 6, 7 years, 8 years. We have hundreds of millions of hats sold. And I'm asking, has anybody ever seen a hat saying Biden? Well, we did have hats, because we made them, that said, where's Hunter? Where is Hunter? Holy shit, Hunter turned out to be. He was in some dark places. But is this going to be where they go and indict your opponent? Is this going to be the next president's going to say, hey, listen, my opponent is doing really well all over the place. Look at the crowds we have. I mean, outside you got a lot of people. And by the way, I want to say officially for the press, it's about 110 degrees in this room. Nice job with the air conditioning, whoever. But you know what the president said? You know what they'll say? Trump didn't look well. He was extremely wet. It's 104 or 5 degrees in this room. But we're okay with it, right? But is this going to be the future of elections in America, where a sitting president tells his attorney general to indict the opponent, to try and knock the opponent down? This is what's happening. And then you ask the simple question. So this has been going on for a long time, the same stuff. Why didn't they do it 2.5 years ago? You know why? Because then it wouldn't have mattered so much. You know, they want to take away your freedom of speech. Everything else would have mattered a lot less. And it would have been terrible because it's small voters. But why, if they were going to do it, why didn't they do it 2.5 years ago before the election? Right? They waited till the election. They waited. And I probably have another one. They say there's a young woman, a young racist in Atlanta. She's a racist. They say, I guess, they say that she was after a certain gang, and she ended up having an affair with the head of the gang or a gang member. And this is a person that wants to indict me. She's got a lot of problems, but she wants to indict me to try and run for some other office. What's going on in this country is, and by the way, what's the venue for a perfect phone call? This was even better than my perfect call with Ukraine. Remember that call? That was a perfect call. This one's better. This one is more perfect. I challenged the election in Georgia, which I have every right to do, which I was right about, frankly. And they want to indict me because I challenged the election. So does that mean that Hillary Clinton, who challenged the election, does that mean that Stacey Abrams and all of the other, virtually every Democrat challenges the election? Does that mean, or they do these flatable lectures. This has been going on since Thomas Jefferson. People won't answer. But they didn't call. They used my word. They took it and they said fake. Because I came up with the name fake news a long time ago. It worked out good. But it's no longer good enough because it's not tough enough. Because it's really corrupt news. It's beyond fake. They don't even write. They don't even write. All the money that Biden is stealing. You don't see one story. Years ago, they'd win Pulitzer Prizes. Today, even Pulitzer Prizes of very little value because, we're suing the Pulitzer Foundation because they gave Pulitzer Prizes to people that wrote about the Russia hoax for their wonderful writing, their brilliance. They were wrong. They were totally wrong. And everybody admits they were wrong. So why doesn't Pulitzer just give back the awards? Because they're radical left lunatics. But we're suing. We'll see what happens. We're doing quite well. Never happened in the USA. This has never happened where an attorney general is told to take the Justice Department and the FBI and sue somebody, think of it, who's running for president and leading not only the Republicans by 50 points, the Democrat by a lot. So he says, sue him, and that will bring him down. Sued, and I have a guy, they call him Deranged Jack Smith. He's deranged. And Biden, on the boxes stuff, Biden has almost 2,000 boxes. Some were held in Chinatown, not a good place for him. And you don't ever hear anything about him. And I came under a thing called the Presidential Records Act. Won't go into it. But it's beautiful. But we have this deranged lunatic looking at us, and he's got a very nice man, very gentle man. Our guy leaks. He does things that are just terrible. And because of that, we're leading by a lot. Because, frankly, I think it's had a huge impact because it shows how sick and how evil these people are, in addition to not knowing anything about the border, about the economy, about the military, or about dealing with other nations. So this is all about election interference. But that isn't quite good enough. Crooked Joe now wants the thug prosecutor, this deranged guy, to file a court order taking away my First Amendment rights so that I can't speak. So listen to this. We don't want you to speak about the case. The case is a ridiculous case. It's a First Amendment case. But we don't want Trump to speak. So they take away your rights on First Amendment. Now they sue because so now I have one of these lunatic reporters back there saying, sir, we'd like to talk to you about your case. Or, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to talk about it. Somehow that's not good for votes. Do you agree? When we say I can't talk, I will talk about it. I will. They're not taking away my First Amendment right. So, based on yet another radical left hoax, I've gone through many hoaxes. The people in this room know very well. But it's another one, radical left hoax like Russia. The no collusion Mueller report. How about that? After 3 years, we find no collusion. I was supposed to be like working for Russia. They went through millions of phone calls, not one call made to Russia. They have no collusion after almost 3 years. Then they created a fake dossier. It was made by, how bad are people when they make up a story about Russia? They put it in a fake dossier like it was legit. The guy that wrote it, who were also sued, by the way, but the guy that wrote it, Christopher Steele, they offered him $1 million, the FBI, if he would. They were begging, please, take $1 million. The way they give money, man, the FBI, they give away a lot of money, don't they? Huh? So they offered him $1 million to affirm it. He couldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. It turned out to be a total fake. But here's Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff, and he comes out and he says to the reporters gathered, click, 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 they're all going crazy. Trump Jr., the son of the President of the United States, will go to jail over Russia. Now think of it. Up with Hillary and all these people. They made it up, and they're saying that my son will go to jail. Now, how bad do you have to be to do that? So they know it's a phony story. They say he's going to go to jail. These are not Mrs. Lewandowski. You hear that? Can you imagine if that were these kids? Can you imagine look what your husband got me into? I could have been relaxing at Mar-a-Lago or in the south of France, which I would prefer being in this country, frankly. But he got involved with Pfizer. the fraudulent FISA applications. Remember, they sent in applications to the courts and they were all fraud. The judges never did anything about it. They knew they were frauds. It was written about. They never did anything about it. The 51 intelligence agents that said Hunter's laptop from hell was all Russian disinformation. Do not use it. You know, they say that made like from a 10 to a 17-point difference in the polls. The FBI Twitter files, the DOJ, Facebook, and all of the rest. Look at 2,000 Mules. Look at what they did with that. Thousands and thousands and thousands of votes on tape, on camera. All of this will come up during this trial. All of this will come up. Because we won the election by a lot. Then they have this crap going on. I never even thought of this one. Really believe you won the election. Let me tell you, people that know me say, that's one thing. I tell you, there was never a second of any day that I didn't believe that election was rigged. It was a rigged election. It was a rigged election, and it was a stolen, disgusting election. And this country should be ashamed. And they go after the people that want to prove that it was rigged and stolen so it never happens. They go after them. They don't go after the people that rigged it, okay? And we'll see how it all turns out. You know, we've been right about a lot of things, right? You ever see Trump was right about everything? Ultimately, let's see how that all works out. So in other words, I'll be the only politician in American history not allowed to speak because of our corrupt system. Sir, you're not allowed to speak on the truth. In other words, I'll come here and I'll say, hi, everybody. Listen, not allowed to speak. Please vote for me, New Hampshire, if you would. Bye. And all I can say is the never-ending witch hunt continues, and we have exposed so much. Nobody's ever thought I have exposed so much. It's been incredible. But do not fear. We will win bigger and better than ever before. They rigged the presidential election in 2020, and we're not going to allow them to rig the presidential election in 2024. We're not going to allow it to happen. We're not going to allow it to happen, New Hampshire. And you're such an important state. You know, you're relatively small. You're so important politically. I kept Iowa and you in those first positions. Please remember that. Because I thought there was a great, beautiful tradition to it. They wanted to move you way back in the line, and I said, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. You are in the position. You'll always be there as long as I have anything to say about it. Joe Biden is the most incompetent and corrupt president in U.S. history. The Biden crime family was taking in money from China, Ukraine, Russia, all these places he has to deal with, and so many others. And now whenever more Biden corruption is exposed, his henchmen charge me with a crime. You know, when they get something on Biden, oh, let's add on another indictment to that stupid indictment that we filed. Let's add on another one, because that takes the news cycle. Unfortunately, I get disproportionate publicity. So they indict me. He's right, cripples. But so they indict me. So when they want to keep something, they say, oh man, they got Hunter again. You know, at some point, I'm going to have to say, you know, the sun thing just isn't working out. Do you agree? The sun thing. The sun thing's not working out too good. All I had to do is pick up the laptop. Didn't the guy call him like 11? Pick up your laptop. Pick up your laptop. I wonder where that cocaine came from. What happened? That was the quickest investigation I've ever seen. You know, somebody told me, could be wrong. I always say that way you can never get sued. You know? Somebody told me, could be wrong. I'm sure it's wrong. But in that little cubicle where it was, there would be normally thousands of fingerprints, you know, people being. And it was clean, so clean. The kind of place I'd like to be, actually, clean. I like cleanliness. But it's called a cover-up. Every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, fascists indict me, I consider it a great, great, great badge of honor. I do. Because I'm being indicted for you. I am being indicted for you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. But never forget, our enemies want to stop us because we are the only ones who are going to stop them. It takes brave people to stop these radical lunatics. It takes brave people. They're sick people. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. That's what's happening here. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. And in the end, they're not after me, they're after you. I'm just standing in their way, and I always will stand in their way, I promise. And if you put me back in the White House, their reign will be over, and America will be a free nation once again, because we do not have a free nation. And from my first day in office, I will appoint a special prosecutor to study each and every one of the many claims being brought forth by Congress, and they're doing a good job. Jamie Comer, Jim Jordan, all of them. Concerning all of the crooked acts, including bribes from China and many other countries, all these foreign countries sending money into the coffers of the Biden crime family, we will have a special prosecutor, and now they'll come after me even a little harder, but I don't know how many more. How much harder can they do it? We should have 4 by sometime next week. I never heard, I went to the Wharton School of Finance. We never studied indictment. We never studied arrest. We never studied prison. These are sick people we're dealing with. It's often said that Republicans don't fight hard enough, and I happen to agree, but they never said that about Trump. And you have some Republicans that are fighting very hard now, I have to tell you. But you're going to see that on my first day in the presidency. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables will turn very quickly, and we will destroy the deep state. And we got rid of a lot. It didn't look like it, but we got rid of a lot. But we're also fighting like hell and also doing a great job in holding back China, holding back North Korea, Kim Jong-un. All of a sudden that problem stopped. Russia would have never gone in. China would not be talking about Taiwan right now. We did a great job. I mean, when you think about it, we did a job that very few people have done, on top of the greatest economy ever, strongest border ever, all of these things, and we had this stuff hanging over our head all the time. That's all they do. They're the party of misinformation and disinformation. In just 4 short years, we already achieved more than any administration probably in the history of our country. We delivered the largest tax cuts and regulatory cuts by far in history, and likewise, we built the greatest economy in history. We achieved energy independence and would have shortly gained energy. We were going to be dominant, energy dominance for the first time ever. We had gas prices at $1.87 a gallon. After years of bitter betrayals, you really have high prices here. Your electric costs are about the highest in the country. Good luck with your electric cars, everybody. How dumb is that? And they're sitting all over the place. Nobody wants them. How crazy. Let somebody, if you want an electric car, you buy an electric car. You're going to have choice. Just like you're going to have school choice. After years of bitter betrayals of New Hampshire workers, I ended the disaster known as NAFTA, the worst trade deal ever made. Replaced it with the USMCA, the best trade deal ever made. In fact, it's such a good deal that Mexico and Canada are now trying to renegotiate it with the Biden administration. I say, don't let them do it. We suffered with that crazy NAFTA for years. Everyone said I'd never be able to terminate it because I had to terminate it through Congress. We got to terminate it through Congress, NAFTA. We got USMCA. It's the best trade deal ever made. It's unbelievable. Much better for us than it is for Mexico and Canada, as you can tell. I stood up to China like no administration has ever done before, bringing in billions and billions and billions of dollars pouring into our treasury when no other president had gotten literally 10 cents, not 1 penny they got from China. China had us figured out really well. I gave our farmers in Great New England lobstermen $28 billion from the massive tariffs I received from China. And DeSantis opposed the deal, by the way. He opposed it, just to put it out there quickly. He also opposed Social Security. I don't know if you know, he wanted to decimate Social Security, Medicare, and Social Security. He wanted to bring the minimum age up to 70. So I don't know if you know that, but. And remember one thing about a politician. When that's his original thought, that's where they go back to. They may come up here and talk to you, I love Social Security. He voted 3 times to terminate and decimate it. We appointed over 300 federal judges and 3 great Supreme Court justices. And how about the ruling last week where they say that if you get great marks, you go to college first? There's no more crazy discrimination and other things. Nobody thought that was going to happen. And last year, those justices ruled to end Roe v. Wade. They ruled to end Roe v. Wade. Now, I have to tell you, we have to talk about it because it, energizes the other side a little bit. And it's not good. But just so you understand and how to talk about it. Now, pro-lifers have a tremendous power to negotiate. You had no power whatsoever. They could kill the baby at any time they wanted. They could kill the baby whenever they wanted. This moves the issue back also to the states, where all legal scholars want it back in the states. But you have tremendous power to negotiate. Like Ronald Reagan, before me, I support the 3 exceptions. You have to go with your heart. I support for rape, incest, and for the life of the mother. I do that, and a lot of people do. Big portion do. And remember this, the Democrats, though, we're not the radicals, they're the radicals, because they're kill babies in their 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th month, and even after birth. So, if you remember that, and the exceptions, in my opinion, are important, in my opinion, but you have to go with your heart. We did something that was amazing. For 50 years, they tried to get it out. They wanted it back in the states. All legal scholars, both sides wanted it back in the states. But you now have a tremendous power to negotiate something that's going to be good and going to be lasting. And it was a tremendous achievement, But just remember, they were the radicals. They try and make you into radicals and monsters. They were the radicals because they were killing babies in 5th, 6th, 7th, and nobody on either side wants that to happen. They did a poll of Democrats a month. They had like nobody. So you have to remember, so you're in a very good position. You have the power now of negotiation. We gave you something that was really a fantastic thing that most people thought couldn't be done, and now you have to use it wisely. They're the extremists, not us. And we created the most secure border in U.S. history. We built nearly 500 miles of border wall. We got Mexico to give us 28,000 soldiers free of charge. Remember when they said, oh, Mexico didn't pay? Mexico gave us 28,000 soldiers free of charge. That's a lot more than a little bit for the wall and a lot less complicated. I said to the president, a lot of people are coming in from Mexico. The cartels are bringing in really bad people. You have to give us soldiers. No. I will not do that. I said, no, you have to. How many do you need? 28,000. Well, that's a lot. Soldiers. Pancho Villa, with the bullets going on. Pancho Villa, these soldiers aren't politically correct either. Ours have to be politically correct. If our soldier speaks up to a person, a little bit rough, they put him in the brig for the rest of his life, okay? It's not good what they do to our soldiers, I tell you. They don't get it. We had 28,000 soldiers, so people said, well, what about Mexico? Did Mexico? But I said, much better. But they said, we're not going to do it. I said, that's okay. Don't do it, but you're going to suffer big consequences, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign legislation, which is on my desk. And for every car, they took 32% of our business out of the United States over a period of 22 years. Not during my administration, nothing. Because I told people, if you go there, you're going to put a big tariff if you sell it back in. That's what you had to do, and you would have kept everybody. 32, I said, here's what you do. If you don't give us 28,000 soldiers, I am going to put a 25% tariff on everything that Mexico sells into the United States. Means you're not going to sell anything because nobody's going to want it. No, you should not do that. I said, that's what I'm going to do. And they said, in thinking about it, we would be honored to give you 28,000 soldiers. So we had 28,000 soldiers. Remain in Mexico, that was another one I got. Remain in Mexico. When these people come in, they come into our country and they stay and they never leave. That's it. And they're criminals, and they come in from many jails that we emptied out. And what I did is I got it, remain in Mexico. Now the people have to remain, but the problem is that Biden is giving it all up. He's giving everything up. Our medical stay, he gave up. Even the judge said, you don't want to give that up. Our country's going to be overrun. So they gave it up. But all of that was just the beginning. Here's some of the agenda that I will immediately implement when we, that's you and me, we're all going to become the president of the United States, 47th president of the United States. And before I even arrive at the Oval Office, shortly after I win the presidency, we will have that horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled. It'll be settled. I know them both very well. Get it done very quickly, maybe in 24 hours. And I'm the only candidate who can make you this promise. I will prevent World War III. I'll prevent it. Not gonna happen. We have a man right now who can't put two sentences together, and he's negotiating on our behalf with nuclear weapons. He's lost every country. Now we're enemies with Russia, with China, with North Korea, with Iran. I terminated the Iran deal. I got Jerusalem, the capital of Israel, and actually built our beautiful building out of Jerusalem stone, right? Our beautiful old Jerusalem. You can't put two words together, so understood too. No, but we have a man who can't put two sentences together, and he's negotiating with people that, like President Xi of China, he's negotiating with people that are at the top of their game. There's nobody in Hollywood that can play the role of some of these people. These are smart killers. Go to France, and you heard this story maybe quickly, because I'm sweating like a dog up here. But does anybody want me to stop, or should we go forward? Macron of France. Put a big tax. He wanted to put a big tax on our companies doing business in France. I said, you can't do that. I gave it to my people to do. They weren't able to do anything about it. 2 weeks they come back, sir, he's very strong on that. He wants to do it. I think it was like a 25% tax, some ridiculous tax for American companies. I said, Emmanuel, I like you very much, you're my friend, but you can't put the tax on. If you do, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to put a 100% tariff on all of your wines and champagnes that I don't even like. Put a 100% tariff on wines and champagnes coming out of France and coming into... No, Donald, you cannot do that. I said, oh, I can't do that. You have 10 minutes to tell me. He said, I give up. And he took off the tax. That's what happened. I gave it to my geniuses. They couldn't, sure, there's no way we can stop it. It was passed by his legislature. To stop Biden's inflation catastrophe, bring down the cost of energy and become energy independent and even energy dominant. We are just, 3 years ago we were energy dominant. We were energy independent. But we will drill, baby drill. We are going to be drilling and bringing it way down. To bring 10,000, it's going to bring tens of thousands more manufacturing jobs back to New Hampshire. We already did it. We made this place very successful. You know, anything that's good that's happening with the economy, it's only because they're running on the fumes of what we built. You understand that? They're running on the fumes, but those fumes can't last much longer. And they're just pouring money out. You know, all these crazy deals. It's Inflation Reduction Act, $1.7 trillion, and it increases inflation. But they're running on the fumes of it, and we did an incredible job. I will impose a border tariff on all foreign-made goods coming into this country. And I will pass the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act very quickly. That is, if India, China, France, anybody, Germany, charge us, we don't charge them. It's stupid people. And I started changing that a lot, but then we had COVID, we had to fix that mess. All the gift from China. But reciprocal trade, if they're charging us 100% for a motorcycle, when we do a motorcycle, we charge them 100%. Right now, they charge 157% for a motorcycle. Harley would have to send. So what does Harley do? They have to go and build a plant in India, or they have to go and build. No more. We were all set to do this too. It was all set. We had a couple of stupid senators that didn't like it. One of them, coming from Pennsylvania, said to me, "Sir, this is not free trade." I said, wait a minute, this country, I won't tell you which, is charging us 200%. We charge them nothing. Would it be okay if I charged them half, 100%? No, sir, that's not free trade. How about 50%? How about 25%? How about 10%? No, sir, it's not free trade. You're either corrupt or you're stupid as hell. because it's crazy. So we're going to pass it. So if they charge us, very simple, we charge them, and it's probably all going to disappear. The Biden economic bus will be replaced with the historic Trump economic boom. I will immediately terminate every open borders policy of the Biden administration. Our country is being invaded. Following the Eisenhower model, we will use all necessary state, local, federal, and military resources to carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in American history. Gotta do it. And I will use Title 42 to end the child trafficking crisis by returning trafficked children to their families in their home countries immediately. To stop the Marxist prosecutors who release rapists and murderers while persecuting Republicans, conservatives, people of faith, and me, by the way. I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist in reverse enforcement of the law. And we will bring back a thing called stop and frisk in our cities. On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender, insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content on our children, our beautiful children. Our beautiful children are being destroyed by these maniacs. I will keep men out of women's sports. It's very easy to do. And I will sign a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. Can you imagine? Can you imagine even having to say that? Think of it. 15 years ago, could you imagine? I will stop child sexual mutilation. Can you imagine having to, that's actually a part of my campaign. Can you imagine having to say that we're going to stop the mutilation of children? Just as I did for 4 years, I will fully uphold the Second Amendment. It's going to be in good shape. And I will fully secure our elections. They'll be done the right way. Our goal will be one-day voting with paper ballots and voter ID. That's where our goal is. But until then, Republicans must compete, and we must win. 2024 is the most important election we've ever had. But this is what we must do to restore our country to greatness. The USA, our economy is crashing. Inflation is out of control. China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea have formed together as a menacing and destructive coalition like we've never seen before. Our currency is crashing and will no longer, in my opinion, be the world standard if it keeps going like this, which will be the single greatest defeat of our country in 200 years. We lose the power of the dollar. What happened with me? Not even a little chance. Just like Russia would have never invaded Ukraine and China would have never even thought about invading Taiwan. They wouldn't have done it. I told them, you're not going to do it. If you took the 5 worst presidents in the history of the United States and added them up, they would not have done near the destruction to our country as Joe Biden and the Biden administration have done. We are a failing nation. I don't like saying that, but we are. We are a failing nation. We are a nation in decline. These radical left lunatics want to interfere with our elections by using law enforcement, the DOJ, the FBI. It's totally corrupt, and we're not going to let it happen. 2024. You have no idea how important it is. It's our final battle. It's our final real big battle. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, Marxists, and fascists. We will throw off the sick political class that hates our country. We will rout the fake news media. We will defeat crooked Joe Biden, and we will drain the swamp once and for all. silent majority is rising like never before. I mean, never before. It's never been, I don't believe it's ever been like this. I said it twice tonight. I'll say it again. We have never had anything like the love, passion. There's never been anything like this. And we went through 2016 and we went through 2020, and most people would say they were the most passionate. This is blowing it away. But we've never had anything like this, never before. And under our leadership, the forgotten man and women will be forgotten no longer. Your help, your love, and your vote, we will put America first. We will make America. We're going to make America greater than ever before. We're going to make it great. It's hard to believe right now. Our country is at such a low point. We will make America greater than ever before. Thank you, New Hampshire. God bless you. God bless you, New Hampshire. God bless you all. Thank you. In a few weeks, with real generals. We have a great military. We're not going to let our military go woke. That I can tell you. But the real generals in the military, down a little bit, those guys are incredible. The way they did that, the way they took that, people. But
hey everyone, today I've got a look at a free AI comic.
What is standing in our way?
Like, people with mindsets like you, that women are too emotional, women can't do the same jobs as men, and saying like, women should be able to...
What is stopping you from going and starting a business? I started a business.
What's stopping me right now?
Yeah.
Like, me personally,
What's stopping you?
the fact that I'm 19 and broke.
Okay, but what would be different than a man that's 19 and broke?
Right now, probably that he has more opportunity. Just because he's a man. What kind of dumb question is that? That is a stupid question.
Why? I think you're trying to make women into men and we're not men.
No, we're not men, we're better than men. I just told you that women have been stopped by the glass ceiling to be able to get to that stage. Because I'm sure there's women smart enough, have enough money to get to that point. But men take credit for work that isn't theirs. Like,
Again, what's stopping us?
men! I'm telling you, men.
What up, guys? Welcome to the Jazz Pearly Things YouTube channel and welcome to Street Talks. So today I'm at the streets of Carnival, which is a huge festival in London. And we're going to ask the people, do wives go to Carnival? Why is modern dating so hard? And can you find your husband at Carnival? So let me know what you guys think in the comments and stay tuned when I interview the people in London. Let's get started. Who brings more to the table in modern dating, men or women?
Women.
Men.
Who brings more to the table?
Yeah, in 2023, men or women?
I think women.
Women, what do we bring to the table?
Loyalty, some.
Tell me, who brings more to the table in modern relationships, men or women?
I think if it's the right relationship, it's equal.
Oh, it's equal. Well, if we had to pick one, like in general, most men and most women.
But in what category? What subject?
In terms of what women like and what men like.
But they bring things to the table differently.
I agree with you,
I think women,
Of course. I think women bring less.
good for you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Who brings more to modern relationships, men or women?
No, that is you can't generalistically say. I'd say it's fairly equal these days in today's society.
What do women?
Certainly in my circles,
What do women bring to relationships?
women bring femininity, and
Do you think most women in 2023 bring femininity?
not most, because I mean.
Oh, do you know what? For me, I'm still split, yeah? Do you want to know why? Because I've lived in my masculine energy, but at the same time, I'm not as strong as a man. And there's been times where I've wanted to be in my soft era and couldn't. So it's like, if you can't do it for me, I will do it for myself. But I'm not gonna lie, any real woman that understands will be like, I would like you to do that for me.
So who brings more to the table in 2020?
Be honest, women do, come on. I've got a portal between my legs that brings life. It brings life.
What do women bring to the table?
The independency. They don't have to rely on no man. They cook, they work, they have their own house, and it's the men that always want to move in with the women.
Do men typically want independent women?
No.
So then why do we bring that up if they don't care about it?
Because we can't always rely on a man.
Why?
Because men are cheats.
Men are what?
Men are cheats.
Thanks for watching, guys. Like the video on your way in and subscribe. So, are you looking for a wife at Carnival today?
Definitely not. No chance. Hell no. Definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely not.
Why not?
I feel like that's a rude question even asking me that, to be honest. I feel like you,
like if you're trying to find a wife.
Imagine your girls on float, whining, just for fun, on everybody that walks past.
everybody with a capital E.
Do you think wives typically go to Carnival?
It depends on what you're doing at Carnival, I guess. Really, everything's a bit subjective when it comes to Carnival. It's part of people's culture, right? I know it's associated with like things like.
What's it associated with? I'm new to it.
Really?
Yeah, let me know.
Well, I think you're getting at is like it's associated with whining and like promiscuous dancing, but it's all part of the culture.
So if you had a girlfriend, would you be okay with her going to Carnival by herself?
I don't know. It depends on the girl.
A girl that wants to go to Carnival?
I don't know. I haven't been in that situation. I'll figure out when I get there, but genuinely, I don't think it's a problem. If she's like Caribbean, that's like obviously what she's about.
In the 1900s, they realized women are easily influenced by propaganda, right? So what do? They show us some sad story, and we run to the polls. And that's a problem. And I just think women are too emotionally led. We don't do the hard jobs in society. Men do 95% of all the jobs that make everything run. And we lose money on taxes. So we spend the most money, we make less. Why do you deserve an equal say when you don't do equal work?
Like, that's like mother.
Right.
And I work full time.
And right, but see, this is the problem. See how you're reacting?
I don't follow any news stories at all, any propaganda, nothing. I form my own decision.
You know what's funny? You're proving my point because you're reacting emotionally by bringing it to yourself because I'm not talking about you.
I'm reacting emotionally because it's an emotional subject.
It's evidence to say that we are working, like, as women, as women, I know that my mother, right, is working harder than any man that we know in our lives.
Okay, so then
I'm not getting emotional about it. I'm providing evidence to say I don't agree with.
The reason I'm saying because you're bringing up anecdotal experience when we're talking about as a group. There's no dispute that women are a net loss on the tax base.
But do you think that all the women that have done amazing things in history are too emotional? Because women are...
Who? Where's the female Elon Musk? Where's the female...
Elon Musk is a wanker.
Where's the female Bill Gates? If women could do these...
That's what you're saying is not fair. Because women don't have access to some of the same stuff men do because of the patriarchy. That is not.
What do we not have wait. So what do we not have access to?
But I just feel like there's obviously a glass ceiling, and there's things getting in the way of there's things getting in the way of women becoming to that status.
I want to know. What is standing in our way?
Like people with mindsets like you that women are too emotional, women can't do the same jobs as men, and saying like women should be able to.
What is stopping you from going and starting a business? I started a business.
What's stopping me right now?
Yeah.
Like me personally.
What's stopping you?
The fact that I'm 19 and broke.
Okay, but what would be different than a man that's 19 and broke?
Right now, probably that he has more opportunity, just because he's a man.
How does he have more opportunity when there's quotas and grants specifically for you because you're a woman?
Yeah, but that still doesn't stop bias. There's still bias. Employees still have bias either way.
Who are they more biased against, men or women?
Women.
I would argue men. And I would argue that because they're giving special treatment to women by having quotas and special grants.
Women, like, I don't want to say need, but like, because of the patriarchy, it's something that we kind of need. because of the patriarchy that's happened for over hundreds of years.
So,
Women are being...
okay, so this patriarchy gives us child support, gives us benefits, gives us alimony. Where are the men's homeless shelters? There's a million women's shelters. Where are the men's shelters? Men are the majority in prison. Men commit the majority of suicide. What patriarchy?
Just bringing in those facts doesn't diminish the fact that there is a patriarchy. Like, all those things are true, yes. Like, there's more male suicide because men don't talk, like, some men don't talk about their issues. Nah, it's not about that. It's not about that. It's about women. It's not about race right now. But just because, yeah, there should be, men should have more access to stuff like healthcare and like mental health care and all this stuff, but that still doesn't diminish the issues that women have. Just because men have these issues doesn't mean women don't also have issues.
I'm not saying women don't have issues, but we talk about women's rights, but we never hear about men's rights. And there's many rights that men don't have. They're the majority of the prison population. They're the majority of the suicides. Men are the majority of the men sleeping on the streets. Women don't sleep on the streets like that. That's a man.
I agree with that, but I don't think just because of that, women shouldn't have the right to vote.
Right, but so what I'm addressing now is you said that there's this patriarchy holding us back, and I don't believe that. Because I would need you to tell me what's holding us back and a problem that we really have that men don't have.
The point of view that you hold, that women are too emotional, women can't do the same jobs as men, that is the point of view that is holding women back.
Are women more emotional than men?
Well, yeah, that's a fact, but it doesn't stop us. It doesn't stop us.
So what I'm saying is true.
But yeah, because we have, like, it's a biological fact that we have hormonal imbalances.
I'll give you an example. Do you guys think that Carnival's a good place to find a husband or a wife?
No. Because they're whining on everyone, and people that say whining ain't cheating, it is cheating. It is cheating.
What about the women that go to Carnival? Are they wife material?
I would say if you really wanted to keep your man happy, you should stay at home. Be a good girl. You should be cooking Caribbean food. You shouldn't be at the strip.
Okay, I felt to differ. People come here to have fun. If anything, you should be trying to wife the girls at Carnival because at least they're not in the house boring. They're coming in to shake.
How old are you guys to start?
I'm 36. I'm 35.
You guys married, single?
I'm single.
I'm recently single, yeah.
What do you bring to the table to a guy that's looking to date you?
I don't know, and that's probably why I don't date, to be honest, because I probably don't have that much confidence in myself in dating.
What do you bring?
I bring someone who's quite chatty, bubbly, flirty, quite a lot. I want to know everything about you. I'm an open book. I'll tell you everything about myself. I want to know everything about you. I can be quite intense. That's what I bring to the table. Openness and honesty.
Do you prefer traditional relationships or a modern relationship?
Traditional.
Modern.
No, I like a man to be a man.
Yeah, but I don't want to have that, like, stay-at-home wife vibes that I have to do everything in the home and stuff. I want a mix.
I would, if he's doing what he needs to do, get the pee, bring it home, I would, if we had enough to live on, it just called his wage, and I would.
What would you give up to be with a man?
Nothing.
No, nothing.
What if he said Instagram? Would you give it up?
I don't really use Instagram.
Yeah, same, but I'm all about the Facebook life.
Could a guy tell you what to do in a relationship?
They have done in the past, but not going forward, no.
Same, I agree with what she said. I'm like certain that a man's not going to tell me what to do.
So why would a guy be with women that don't want to listen to him?
Because the dynamics change. We're in 2023.
Men just don't like listening in general.
Well, yeah, so why do we say we bring communication?
I just wanted to say that everyone should repent and believe in the gospel. A lot of people here are living in sin, and Jesus Christ, he died for everyone's sins here, you know. And it's only through Jesus that you can reach true fulfillment, you know.
What do you think about Christian dating?
Christian dating. I mean...
Because are you in a Christian church, like evangelical? Like, what's your...
I'm born again, so I'm a believer of the Bible.
Right.
So I'm part of the Bible.
Yeah, like non-denominational then?
Exactly. So in the Bible, it never speaks of dating. You know, we're meant to court. You know, no sex before marriage.
Do you believe that men should only marry virgins then?
No.
Really?
That's not biblical.
It's not biblical to wait till marriage?
No, it is. But you don't just because I've sinned doesn't mean that you shouldn't love me because of that. Jesus loved us.
Well, I think men should only marry virgin. And I'll tell you why. Because when a woman sleeps around, she's got like a 20% chance of a happy marriage. She's a virgin, it's an 80% chance. And it affects women a lot more than men. So I just tell the men, just marry virgin. I thought the Christian guy would agree with all the girls start as virgin.
I'll tell you something. Before I gave my life to Christ, I had sex with many women. So
that doesn't count, you're a guy.
How?
It counts less.
It counts less in what way?
It counts less because it affects men less than women. We would agree there's a difference between a male and a female.
Of course.
And you'd agree a woman whore is way worse.
I mean, in society, yes.
Yeah. So, and you would agree that a woman brings more baggage than a male. A female brings way more baggage than a male.
No.
You disagree?
No. Yeah.
Do you think it's equal?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So it's interesting because a lot of Christian guys go back to this egalitarian model, and I don't really get it. Like, do you believe like women should obey husbands?
Well, yes. Only if the man is obeying Jesus.
Right, so who decides if he's obeying Jesus? Because what I see is a lot of Christian women use that to manipulate the men where they get to decide if he's obeying Jesus.
Well, the Bible decides, right?
What?
So the Bible decides.
Correct. And so, but like, my question is, why isn't that up to the man, though, to obey Jesus?
Yeah, but the woman should also be obeying Jesus.
Well, she should obey the man, though, right?
But Jesus first, because Jesus is above the man.
Well, correct, but by default, then she obeys the man.
Right, if he's in alignment with Jesus.
Because, like, I can't remember the exact verse, but it's like, obey, submit to your husband in all things. Do you agree that it's a sin for women to not sleep with their husband?
No,
yeah.
That's not a sin. That's not a sin.
I think it's a sin.
However, it does say in the Bible that what was the verse? It was something about to fulfill each other's sexual urges, for example, so the man may not feel tempted by other women. So in a sense, the woman should fulfill his man's sexual desires. However, but that's up to the discretion of the relationship,
If you had a life sentence, right, you were about to be sentenced to prison, do you want to judge on her period?
What kind of dumb question is that? That is a stupid question.
Why?
Because I feel like...
Give me a stupid answer. Go ahead.
No, I don't think that, like, being on your period would affect your job in that way.
Does being on your period affect you at all?
Does it affect me? It affects me physically. Emotionally, I can step back, take a look, and be like, it was never that deep.
And the men that you've dated or been around would agree that you act exactly the same on and off your period. They can't tell any difference.
I would agree, yeah. I mean, I don't talk to them, so I can't ask them, but I would agree, yeah.
I think I would have a hard time believing that you act exactly the same because I don't think most women do.
But I think if you're in a professional position such as a judge, I think professionally you're able to take that like step away from your emotions. As a judge, you're supposed to stay unbiased anyways, and you're supposed to, and you can stay, and you can step away from your getting too emotional about it because you're professional and it's something that you've dealt with.
And I think they should, but I don't think most can or do. I think you're trying to make women into men, and we're not men.
No, we're not men. We're better than men.
But see that's misandry right there. It's funny because if men said that about women, there would be a lot of backlash. But you can openly say that about men in this mean patriarchy.
Yeah, because I can say that about men because men at the moment men are at the top. So
what are women better than men at?
A lot of things.
Like what?
Like what? What are women better than men at? Huh?
And where's the female Elon Musk and Bill Gates if we're better?
I just told you that women have been stopped by the glass ceiling to be able to get to that stage. Because I'm sure there's women smart enough, have enough money to get to that point. But men take credit for work that isn't theirs. Like,
I'm curious as a recruiter. I think that women have an easier time getting hired for jobs. What do you? Am I wrong? Am I right?
Right. So I work in technology recruitment, right? So which is where we're screaming to have more females and to bring that balanced at least 50-50 or 60-40 male-female, right? So I had this job, advertised it, got like 30 applicants. Like, I generally put out of those forward 10. I wasn't forced, but because of us trying to hit numbers, I had to put all the women through and all the men didn't even get a look.
No, and I appreciate you being honest about that.
No, I've actually been wanting to come out and say this, because I see feminists saying, oh, pay gap, but you know, there's no better time to be looking for a job if you're a woman, if you're like ethnic minority, like this is the best time.
So I have
It's your time.
I have a question. So when women typically go into these roles, do they laugh?
Well, no, that's out of my. To be fair, right? Yes, they have longevity in their career. Do they last in that job? No, because there's a headhunter that needs to hit their female quota to go and fill a role with a female. So what will end up happening is, you know how we're like men get paid more? Well, if there's a shortage of skills and the commodity of females, what happens in a market? The value goes up. So that is what I'm seeing as potentially the next steps, is where women will start getting paid more because they're women, because we need them more to make the workforce diverse.
What I see too is I don't see women being as competent as the guys, but I see them making more money.
I like that. Again, I only look after a small subset, but like I don't feel like feminists need to be fighting as hard anymore for this equal pay.
Right.
And like it's all good to be pro-woman and all this stuff, but like feminism and all that sort of stuff. Like I think we're in a good place. Honestly, like you know, as I said, there's no better time to be a female in trying to get any job you want right now.
Do you think because sometimes I just wonder in a lot of the careers that women are pushed into, it's like, why do they keep pushing us to do these jobs if we don't want to do them?
Who's they pushing?
Recruiters, corporations, like, you know what I'm saying? You said they're giving special privilege to women, and it seems like it's because they're not getting enough women applicants, right?
So what it is, it's more that companies want to appear inclusive and diverse. Okay? And so by doing that, you would do all these things quantitatively. So therefore, you know, for them to prove that they're a diverse company, they need to show in their figures 50% female, 50% male. So it's not necessarily they're being pushed, it's more encouraged. It's like, you're a female, like don't think that you can't do this stuff. Yeah, and like so a bit more of a positive spin on it.
So I would disagree with you, because there was female business owners and property owners 400 or 500 years ago. Like all the stuff you're saying, there was a female millionaire in the 1800s.
Okay, but you were bringing up Bill Gates and Elon Musk. That like I'm sure there are definitely women smart enough, but men taking credit.
I'll tell you the rich women in the world. I've studied this stuff actually. So Kim Kardashian, is she as smart as Elon Musk? That's the female billionaire. A woman that sold a sex tape.
Okay, just because she sold her body or whatever, that doesn't mean she's smart or dumb. Realistically, that sex tape got her famous.
Do we respect
money moves there?
Respect people that take the easy way or the hard way?
So you think selling your body is the easy way?
Yeah, I would say it's harder than doing it.
You think it's the easy way?
Selling your body is...
A lot of sex workers have been pushed into being a sex worker because of biases.
I would argue it's because they're lazy and don't want to work at McDonald's. Like the men.
Have you worked at McDonald's?
No.
Exactly. So if you haven't worked at McDonald's...
Well, I've worked in sales before, and I worked in copier sales, and women were too lazy to do it. They would quit. The men would stick it out, and the women would just quit.
I don't think women are lazy at all. I think women work a lot harder to beat the patriarchy, to break through the glass ceiling, and to start earning the same.
Then why don't we see women on oil rigs? Why don't we see women on the construction site?
Probably because men are hiring these people to work on these things, and probably think women aren't strong enough, aren't bodily able to.
Oh no, there's a lot of quotas. They get incentives, so they're looking to hire women, but women don't want to do it.
Would you work on an oil rig?
No, because I'm a woman.
What kind of dumb question dumb answer is that?
I mean, do you want to work on an oil rig?
I would do it. I don't have an issue with it.
Then why don't?
Why don't I? Because I'm in university.
Right, which is easier than working on an oil rig. You see a lot of men skipping university and going into the trades right now.
I wouldn't say it's easier. I would just say that that's where my path has taken me.
Right, and women typically pick the easy path.
I don't believe that at all.
If a guy came to you and said, I just want you to cook, clean, and shut up.
No, because I'll cook and clean, but I'm not shutting up. I've got a lot to say.
But it's interesting because when men tell us what they want, we don't listen.
Yeah, we don't listen.
So I
don't want to shut up. If a guy wants me to cook and clean, I'll do that because I find pride in doing that.
So I have a stat for you. They're predicting that 45% of women are going to be single and childless.
That's me. That's me.
Do you think women are going to be happy in that scenario?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
I've got a child, so I'm single and with a child, and not that happy, but I'm okay.
So it's interesting. It's later. I'll tell you this later, but can we finish the dating? I promise I'll get to this. But it's interesting because as women, we'll admit we're not happy single, but we're never willing to make changes to be what the guys want.
No, I have done in the past. I've changed my whole personality, my whole persona, to be with someone for 10 years, and it didn't work out. So why am I going to change myself for someone if the guy's not willing to change?
Well, don't you think
that women have to make all the compromise?
What compromise do women typically do? Are they paying for dates?
No, it's not about that. It's about the little things. The little things that people don't realise. Just, making sure you're alright, making sure you're good, checking in on you, and just making sure you're well fed, you're clean. The little things that women do. Like, it's those things that men don't appreciate.
Do you think most women do that stuff?
I would like to think that most women do. Yeah, for the right guy they would, yeah.
Do you think most women are doing that for most?
I think women of my age, yeah.
But what about the new generation?
The new generation, hell no.
So I have a question. Does body count matter?
No.
So what's your body count?
I don't know, I don't count.
What do you think the average body count is for a 35-year-old woman?
I don't know what the average is. Should I say my average? I don't know.
I mean, so 30 by 35?
Just 30.
30, okay. Well, I just see what I see in the churches, and I really believe what you're saying is I just don't see them demonize male. They demonize female sin the way they demonize male sin. So they'll come on really hard on the men for cheating, but they don't come on hard for the women for not waiting till marriage. When there's more male virgins now than female virgins.
Well, those are two different things what you just said.
Well, I think they're the same.
But they're not.
Because when you look at the evolutionary mating strategy of men, it's typically sleep with as many women as possible. The woman's mating strategy is get the highest quality guy, right? And you come to an agreement where the woman says, I'm not going to look for other men, I'm not going to try to do better. And the man says, I'm not going to sleep with all these women and try to spread my seed. That's usually when it's a fair contract. But what I see in the church is them pushing men to take unfair deals, where it's not really fair to a guy that he's got to be faithful for a lifetime, but when she was at her sexual market peak, she's not faithful to him. Because young women have way more choice sexually than young men.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
In regards to the women having more choice, but what you just done was, you're speaking about, we're not primates no more. We're not meant to live as predators and beasts, so forgiveness is important. We're meant to be merciful and forgive each other for
Correct. And I totally agree with you, but I think God forgives you, men don't have to.
No, we have to.
No, I'm saying men don't have to accept that in a wife.
You don't have to accept anybody as a wife. You get to choose.
Right, so why wouldn't the church encourage men to marry virgins?
Because what about because we've all made mistakes. You can't condemn somebody for a mistake that they've made. That's basically you're saying, if you're not a virgin, you're not allowed here.
It's not condemning. It's not. They can still go to church, but I think marriage is better when the woman's a virgin. And so I don't know why the church doesn't push that. They always push the forgiveness, which maybe makes women feel better. But in my opinion, that's why there's so many single women in the churches, is because the men have just kind of had enough. And the quality of the women in church isn't typically higher than out of church.
I would disagree with you.
Yeah, I think if it was, then we wouldn't have sayings like the church women. And I interview hundreds of people. I think if the quality was higher, they would have a better reputation, and that's not what we see.
I think the women in the church are the best women you can find in the world.
I think if they're virgins.
I don't think that matters. Yeah, sorry, continue.
Yeah, I think because if they're really true to their faith, they would have stuck to it. But women just conveniently find God when they want a husband. I don't really believe it.
I mean, those are two different things. Like me, I became a Christian last year.
Right.
And many women find God. They find Christianity later on. Of course, there's a minority of women who they end up ruining their life and they're like, okay, God, I'm coming back to you. But that's not the majority.
Well, I have a question. Are the majority of women in church virgin?
I wouldn't know that. I would need to.
No, but you know. You're smiling. That's why you know. That's why you know. That's why you know, because you're laughing.
I'm not going to say if I don't know.
No, you know. You know they're not. Because only.
Actually, from my experience, I would say it's 50-50. From my experience.
And in my experience, I would just say, like, I think the church bails out women a lot and tells them they can do whatever and still have a husband. I think they should push women or men to only marry virgins.
But then that would be going away from the Bible, right? So.
No, it's not.
It is completely.
How is it going away from the Bible to not marry a, like, are you arguing the Bible says marry a non-virgin over a virgin?
It doesn't need to, because it says in the Bible, if you do not forgive those, God will not forgive you. So, how can God forgive me when I'm not even forgiving a woman?
I'll give you an example, right? You know, my guy Blessing over there, you know, he maybe gets a criminal record, right? And then after the criminal record, he asks me on a date.
Right.
I can forgive him and say, you know, you stole, now you don't steal, I forgive you. But I don't have to accept that. And I think we're getting into a tricky place when church guys are arguing that men need to accept that in a way.
I don't think we need to. I would never push that you need to.
You just said that before. You said if we don't accept that from the women, we're not forgiving them.
Well, okay, I'll clarify. So I'll say you need to still accept them for who they are, but you don't, just because I forgive you doesn't mean I have to marry you. Right?
And so that's why we should say marry the virgins, everyone else is a No, seriously, right? Right? Because in history, 100 years ago, 85% of women were virgins because the men said, we are only marrying virgins. Women act a lot better when men demand more.
Can I flip the table on you? Are you a virgin?
No, I don't deserve marriage.
Do you really believe that?
I really do. I think that marriage is between two virgins.
So are you married?
No, I'm not. And I really do think there's consequences for decisions. And I think the problem we have in society, every problem we have in society is linked to multiple sexual partners for women. Every problem. Homeless is linked to single mothers. Single mothers tend to be... Yep. More likely than not. They have multiple sexual partners. The more sexual partners a woman has, the more likely she's to divorce. The more likely... And once she divorces, what happens? The kids pay. So that's why I think the churches need to step in and demand virginity. And then they screw all the older, I'll take one for the team for the betterment of society, okay? Screw all the older, non-virgin chicks, leave them, we made our bed, lie in it, okay? Now I think then the younger women will say, oh, the men aren't marrying them. Maybe I should act different. And boom, all of society's problems are solved.
Or the mothers could just train their daughters in the way they ought to be.
Well, they would, but they don't know it because they're whores.
The mothers?
Oh yeah, the single mothers.
Christian mothers who follow the Bible, who wake up and pray and read the gospel.
A lot of them. A lot of them. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look, and even Blessing told me that story the other day in his church. You know what I'm talking about.
Christian women?
Oh yeah, they have a horrible reputation.
No, she doesn't. Look. That's why it says women shouldn't. Sorry. But like, if you think women should, that's a lot of our rights being taken away, is it not?
No, because women have always had power in society, even before they had the right to vote. I think if we want the right to vote, we should do equal work. So pay the majority of the taxes, do equally the hard jobs, and women want all the freedom, but none of the responsibility that comes with it. We live life on easy mode, so we just want to keep.
I don't think that's true. I think women struggle just as much as men do.
You think a woman? So one of the number one.
I think the struggles are different. Yeah, but we struggle just the same.
So you think a secretary is struggling just as much as a coal miner? You think those are equal struggles?
But a secretary could be a man, and a coal miner could also be a woman. Like they're both.
Women are the majority of secretaries, men are the majority of coal miners. And I could do 10 different examples that are really similar.
Okay.
Plumber, electrician, construction worker, garbage men, all men. women's top, it's like teaching, it's assistants, HR, admin. Those are the female-dominated fields. So if women really could do the hard jobs, I just would like to see them do them.
Women can do the hard jobs. They can do them.
Then I'll interview you next, but
women can do the hard jobs. It's just a matter of having choices where they just don't want to.
Do we have more choice now or less choice than 100 years ago?
More choice.
Okay,
because we got the right to vote.
Okay. So then why don't we see women rushing into these fields since we've been able to do them for 100 years?
Because we have the choice, the freedom to choose what we want to do.
What do we choose?
We choose whatever we want to choose.
The easy route.
It's not necessarily the easy route. It's just like.
Are we really going to argue a coal miner and an assistant are equally easy?
No, they're not. I think that obviously being a coal miner is harder. But like we have the choice because we are women and because we got the right to vote. But taking that away doesn't mean if you take away the right to vote, that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to go into those hard working jobs.
I don't think we will, which is why I don't think we should vote. You want to know about this?
Yeah.
I don't believe in freedom without responsibility. So I think if we're going to be free, we should have the responsibility that comes with it. So I think we have to think about, and you have to go bare bones here, right? And modern society doesn't allow us to think like this. But we have to look at what makes the country run. All of the hard jobs, so building the buildings, driving the buses, driving the trucks. You'd agree all that stuff makes the country run. And then we'd also agree that money makes the country run, right? Well, women, right. And so my thing is if women are losing money on taxes, meaning we spend more than we make, and on top of that we're not doing any of the hard jobs, we're not building the road.
Hard jobs though. Why aren't we doing the hard jobs?
You know,
and there are women that are doing the hard
jobs. Okay, so what the media does, and they really brainwash us to believe that women do the hard jobs, but if you look at the makeup, we really don't. In terms of infrastructure jobs, 1 out of every 2 men that you see does a job that runs society. On the other hand, it's like 6% of women.
Carnival, yeah, that's very nice. Yeah, she's anti-feminist.
No, I think.
But most of the guys here, they're not running the world. The guys here, like, come on, they're not running.
I mean, I'll give you an example. These 2 guys right there, they're protecting me now. That's a hard job.
From us.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you.
My thing is, I was with the guy for 10 years, right? And I did everything for him, and then it ended like that and then sort of like.
And I'll tell you, I just think feminism lies to us because it'll tell you to be bitter.
I mean,
and do
equal. The world isn't equal.
Right.
Men do run the world.
Right.
I get that. Especially white men run the world. That is true. There's always white men at the top, but you just got to deal with what it is and just do what you got to do.
Yeah, I think women run the world, and I think the whole world. Well, men do the. Well, I'll tell you my. I think men do all the hard jobs, but women have the most influence right now.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think men still have the influence, but I think women do the hard jobs. They do the hard jobs that no one sees.
Oh gosh, like what? Like what?
Just behind every good man is behind every strong man is an even stronger woman.
No, I don't agree with that.
So is there a strong man in power that hasn't got a good woman behind him?
No, I mean usually good women. I mean, how many of them get divorced and their wife takes half?
I mean,
if she was so strong, she wouldn't need his money.
It's not about money. I don't know. It's about encouraging someone to do well and strive to do better.
I'll give you an example.
Pick up your man.
They should. I agree with you. They should, but we don't.
Pick up you as well to strive to do whatever you want to do.
I think if we did that, I would agree with you, but we really don't.
I just feel like you're American. It's different over here in the UK.
No, I've interviewed.
The men are different. The men are different.
No, I've interviewed hundreds of men and women in the UK. It's very much the same. You guys think you're different. It's what?
I don't know. American is trash.
They're exactly like UK dudes. The UK men dress slightly better. Question: how old are you guys? How old are you? 21. So I'm just curious because you're a little younger than me. How many men has the average girl slept with at your age?
About 8.
5? Yeah, 5. And you'd say 8.
I say 8.
8? I know we're not talking about you guys.
They're good. They're good.
Yeah.
They're good. But not everyone is like that. That's what you have to remember. Not everyone is like that. When you're put in that position.
So I'm gonna take a break in a minute. I'm getting hot now.
So if it doesn't matter, would you say your body count?
Yeah. I'll say 3.
Okay, you Because half the time girls won't say it.
How do you feel about that, Peter? How do you feel about that? Yeah, I feel
I think so. 45% of men have infrastructure jobs. That means they drive the trucks, they build the buildings, they pave the roads, they security here. They do all of the infrastructure hard jobs, right? Only 5% of women, 6% of women do the hard jobs and the infrastructure jobs. And let's be honest, female police officers are like 2%, and a female police officer isn't really going to help you.
But I think that's, I personally, I think that's a lot to do with a lot of men like doing the hiring process, not thinking women are bodily able to do all of this stuff. And you say about these quotas and these grants, it doesn't stop biases. There's still going to be biases. There's still, at the end of the day, there's still men. There's still most likely men hiring all the workers, so they're more likely to hire who they think will be bodily able, and they don't think women will be bodily able, but women are able.
Well, I think if we were able, then we'd do it. And I disagree with you. I disagree with you if, no, we don't. It's like 98%, 99% men on the coal miners, plumbers, electricians, all those jobs, 90+% men. So we're not doing the hard job. And I disagree with you that, I disagree with you on the men that the men are hiring, and that's why, because then we wouldn't have quotas. And the men gave us quotas, and yet we still won't do the hard job.
The men gave the quotas so they would look unbiased. And at the end of the day, they're still biased. There's biases like psychologically drilled into our brains from birth.
You think you want to be a victim?
A victim?
Yeah, I think women want to be victims.
Victims of what?
This oppression.
It's not oppression. It exists.
I disagree, because I've been able to do everything I wanted easy. I think most women are just lazy, and we see that because most women are fat now.
What?
Yeah.
What has that got to do with anything?
Well, it's a lack of discipline, that's for sure. A lack of discipline.
Lack of discipline.
Yeah, I would say thinner people are more disciplined, and shape people more disciplined. Women that are fatter are less disciplined.
That is not what we're talking about. I completely disagree with it. I see where you're coming from on some points, but I completely disagree with that point.
That's alright, we can agree to disagree. Yeah, but I'm just waiting for anything women are better at, and anything, sir, for the millionth time, no, this is me and, okay, but yeah, I just want anything women are better at.
Problem solving, multitasking.
Then why don't we solve the world's problems? The men are solving the world's problems.
In there, because men don't love.
Again, what's stopping us? Men!
I'm telling you, men.
Men have been given that control.
But why? Again, we're going back to the quotas. There's quotas for us. We just don't take them.
Quotas, you duppy. Because I think men have control over most things, and men thinking that we're able. And mindsets like yours who think we're not able.
Who do you think the companies cater to? Men or women?
What companies?
Corporations. Who do they cater to?
I don't know.
Women. 80% of consumer buying decisions are made by women. Women are the majority of voters. The entire system is catered towards women.
That's because 100 years ago it wasn't.
No. Actually, women always had more power in society than men, typically.
I feel like we're going around in circles.
Alright.
Nothing more to add.
Alright, well, thank you very much.
Why does your shirt say women should have voted?
I just think we got better stuff to do. Why we vote?
Women should baby. What? Depends on what you mean by that.
I don't think we should be able to. I think they should take it away. I'll give you an example. So, see, it's like an hour conversation, but I'll explain it to you. In the 1900s, women we operate with our emotions first, right? There's a reason why every fashion trend, like, women jump onto. Like, they convince us to get holes in our shirts, puffy sleeves. It doesn't matter. And what they realized in the 1900s was they could influence the population by showing women a sad story, and we run to the polls. Yeah. I just think and I think men pay the majority of the taxes. They do all the hard jobs. So.
Because currently, men, you can agree, men have the most power right now. Do you agree?
No, I think women have more power than men.
The world right now is made for women. This generation now,
so I used it, in this generation. Yeah. I'll give you, okay. So
men have the most power.
So I I'm going to tell you why I disagree with that. I used to think like you, so I understand why you think that way. But right now, women, we pay the minority of the taxes. So men are paying for everything. And then on top of that, we're not doing any of the hard jobs. So men pay for them. And then, well, we're not housewives, but we don't have that. So, and then on top of that, men are discriminated against in family court. So they have no access to their kids right now, and I think that's, and they also, it's really easy to falsely accuse men of come on. And so because where guys, so if you go into a college campus, there's courses that say if two people are drunk and have sex, the woman couldn't consent, but the man could. Yeah. And so I think a lot of the laws are unfair.
Thank you.
And I think the reason they're unfair is because we can vote.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah.
So would you say that majority of the people, world leaders right now, are men or women?
So I'll tell you, I'll break that down. The thing about the world leaders being, they are men, but they cater to women. Because when I've talked to the politicians about this, they cannot win elections without the female vote because we're the majority of the population. So all of the politicians are making laws for women and not men. And that's why I think women have more power, because they can't win elections without the women voting.
I feel like it's certain circumstances, like there's many circumstances where a woman could walk into a room and a man is still going to be more valued. I'm not saying that women are not powerful, but it depends on the situation. I wouldn't say it overall.
I disagree, and I think women are given a privilege because they're beautiful.
Yeah,
I think
what if you don't fit that social standard of a woman? There's many women that society wouldn't view as
most, and the thing is, you guys are young, so you don't really realize it yet. But like the world treats you better just as a young woman because you're young and pretty. You don't even have to. You find a good man with money, you're gonna sit at the table. You don't even have to be that pretty. You just have to be young and like in shape.
And have fun.
Yeah. And the men will pay for everything.
Exactly.
So that's why I don't think we should. And it's funny because when women get into power, we're actually evil with it. We're more likely to wage war. We're more likely to have.
Because we're filled with barbarian history has shown you that men have literally went to war.
So they teach you the history wrong. Actually, it's incorrect because it's incorrect. So when women have gotten into power, when women have gotten into power in the last, so what they did was they took women leaders the last 500 years, right? And they wanted to see who waged war more, men or women. When women get into power, we're much more likely to wage war, and I think it's because we don't have a cost because we don't have to fight. So it's like, and we get our periods. We're like, oh my God, I got my period. Let's go to war. And you can look at this in normal life because look at frat houses versus sorority houses. Sorority bitches hate each other. Frat brothers are brothers for life.
I agree, man.
Huh? I just went to the bathroom.
I'm going to teach you the best possible start for Starfield. Here's what we're going to cover in the video. We're going to cover how to min-max your credits, that's money in this game, your earnings, how to get a super weapon early on, and standard weapons so that you can easily destroy the entire game from the very start, how to get the best in slot legendary armor for farming, a free ship that lets you do smuggling, have lots of storage, and is just better than your starter ship, how to be over-leveled before starting the main quest line, and all of this is done in under 1 hour. Let's go. When you reach this part of the tutorial where you are asked to walk across a bridge here and go towards the quest marker, instead jump off the right side and hug the left part of the wall. You're going to see some brown little crystal things here. Just harvest one of these. This helps level up a skill later. Neodymium added. There we are. And all of these are also neodymium. You don't have to grab these. You only really need one. Just grab at least one. You can grab two if you want. It's not super important if you skip this part. It just makes it easier later on. When you reach this room here, don't go to the quest marker just yet. Make sure that you get at least one of these on the sides. And they do take a little bit sometimes to mine. There we go. Kalium added. Now, it's an okay for starter money, but we're going to make money much faster later. Just clear off, the quest objective here, and I will see you at the character creator screen. Starting background, it doesn't really matter what you pick, because we're going to be so geared so early. None of the combat skills matter at the start, but also if you want a money advantage, you want to pick something with commerce, and so let's go over the good ones. Cyber Runner's nice. Leveling security just means you will earn more money later. This is basically lock picking. So you want to max out security as early as you can, and it is a pain in the butt to level. Also, another one is Diplomat because of commerce, which is really nice. It also shares the same tree with Persuasion, so you get at least, if you have 2 skills learned in a tree, it's easier to go to the next tier earlier on. But other than that, Homesteader is okay. Professor is really nice because all 3 of these are in the same tech tree. And when you level that one up later, the tier 3 or tier 4 skills it's just so much faster to get there. But the whole reason to level that tech tree is to craft really high end game gear. But we're going to have that anyway. But you can also use it for your AFK farming on outposts. But again, you can choose whatever you want. For this playthrough, I am going to choose the Cyber Runner just because I like having the stealth icon on my screen. In this game, whenever you crouch down, you'll enter stealth, and in most Bethesda games, you'll see a stealth icon indicator. You don't get that until you have 1 level in stealth. I like having the level in security, but again, I would highly recommend Diplomat just because you start with commerce, so it saves you a level. I'll start with Diplomat. I'll just go ahead and do that since that's what I'm recommending to you. As for trait choices, let me go over